What's up, everybody? Noah Kizrak here for a few new videos for you guys. I got some movie reviews. Two Netflix movies. Let's get into one of them. So last year we got the WWE Studios movie, Fighting With My Family. Now, I'm going to watch this video back and see if that problem is fixed. Thank you to Joe Martinez for giving me the help with it. This was a very good movie. Now, being a wrestling fan, the main problem that I had with it was that it was not very accurate with what it was. Now, I get it, you're trying to go with the newer audience, but if you're going to tell the true story of how Paige made it in the WWE, actually do it how it was done. Like with this movie, this is the Netflix movie, The Main Event. Netflix and WWE have a deal right now where they're going to do content together, create content together, and put it out on Netflix. And these both were released on Netflix WrestleMania weekend. The Main Event was April 10th, and the Big Show, which I binged that very morning, didn't talk about it, but released the night after WrestleMania. This is the Main Event. So this is how good it gets, right? Now, this is not going to be a review, really. It's going to be more of a discussion. Kind of. It's going to be a different type of review. This movie is all about this kid played by Seth Carr who wants to be a wrestler. He's 11 years old. He's obsessed with the WWE as I was at 11 years old. I started loving wrestling when I was 9 or 10 years old, and I still love it to this day. Fan for over a decade, and I've seen many things. Been to live events as well, but that's not for this video. The Main Event, he finds a magical mask. The WWE is bringing NXT to his hometown, and they're going to have a tryout and a tournament to see who is going to be the next NXT superstar. He's 11 years old. He puts the mask on. He can pretty much... He has super speed. He has very powerful strength. And all these ring skills. So, you know where this movie's headed. It's not very good. It's not a very good movie. I watched it this morning. I've been putting off watching it because I've been afraid. WWE is in such a slump right now with no fans in attendance. The storylines aren't as good. They just furloughed a lot of people and released a lot of wrestlers, so I have not been in the best spirits since I did not care for WrestleMania 36 all that much except for a few matches. This movie was bad. It was bad. The script is bad. The script is the main problem, but the main problems that I had with it was the accuracy of some of the things that happened. Like on Monday Night Raw, the ring ropes are red. The posts are red. So at the start of the movie, this kid is talking to his grandma, and right before he leaves for school, she says, "So are we watching Monday Night Raw tonight?" "Absolutely," he says. So we cut back to them watching Monday Night Raw, and it's the New Day and the Usos wrestling on SmackDown. So they're watching Monday Night Raw, but it's blue ropes and blue ring posts with blue lighting covering the crowd. And for any wrestling fan, that's going to bother you because you know that's SmackDown. For kids who watch this and are obsessed with it, you know that's SmackDown. Now, as for people who are not wrestling fans, that's not going to bother you much. But when you see that kind of ticks you off a little bit because you know that's not accurate. Like with Paige, when she came to the main roster, well, when she started, she didn't go straight to NXT. She went to FCW, which turned, or Florida Championship Wrestling, which turned into NXT. Then to the main roster as the, She went to NXT, came up to main roster, and beat AJ Lee for the Divas Championship the night after WrestleMania 30. Fine. Now here's the thing. With that movie, with Fighting With My Family, you got a wrestler to play AJ Lee. Great. You got Zelina Vega, who is a wrestler. She wrestles maybe 5-6 matches every year now. But this movie uses The Miz, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus, Keith Lee, Renee Young, Corey Graves, Otis, and one or two others, and they completely butcher them. Keith Lee sings. Yes, he's playing a wrestler. He's playing a completely different character. Yes, but the thing that really got me was that when you use Otis, yes, he has a different name. When you're a wrestling fan, especially that young, you're going to be attached to the comedic phenomenon and comedic genius that is Otis of Heavy Machinery now in WWE. When you use Heavy Machinery or Otis from Heavy Machinery and you have him do his move and you call it the Worm and he calls it the Worm, that's just completely cringe. That's due to a very bad script. They had nothing to do with these wrestlers. Now, wrestling fans are going to be a little bit more either forgiving of it, or they're going to be very judgy, like I am. I'm being very judgy because WWE is one of my favorite things in the world. My favorite things in this world are movies and wrestling. When I am not watching a movie at night, I'm more likely watching wrestling. Particularly WWE. Pretty much since like late 2007, this movie completely butchers everything. Now Seth Carr does a good job for what he has to do. Here's where the minor high points, the minor praises I am going to give this movie. The kids are fine for what they are. You aren't going to get great quality acting from this style of movie. Yes, this is a kid's film, but so is the next movie I'm talking about too, The Willoughbys. The main event uses very cheesy acting and very stereotypical characters with the lead characters, not the wrestlers, but with the lead characters very, very well. And they shove in this mother storyline where his mother left him and his father to be with somebody else, and they don't bring it back up again after the halfway mark. They don't bring it up again. It's talked about, and it's used as a dramatic tool to make you feel bad, to make you cheer for him, but if you aren't going to bring it up again, then I'm not going to care. I am not going to care whatsoever. Bring it up again. Maybe have the mother. Here, have the mother watch him wrestle. Have the mother watch him wrestle on TV, or maybe be in the crowd. Would that be cheesy? Yeah, but you would continue that side plot that you just completely throw away halfway through the movie. The movie does a good job of what it's trying to do, but the execution is not all there. Some of the accuracy with NXT, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown, and using the wrestlers, you could have used some of your indie guys that we did not know. Yes, have The Miz be there. Have Kofi Kingston be there because he's the first superstar that you see that these people love. You could have had the grandma meet Kofi Kingston. I thought that could have been a very funny scene. The start of the movie was fine. So we got to them watching wrestling and saying they're watching Monday Night Raw. And the timeline is all wrong. It's all wrong. But I am not going to go any more in depth about this movie. I think I've talked about it long enough. I've talked about it for 10 minutes. There's my movie review of the main event. I'm not going to give this movie an F. It's not a completely trash movie. It's just a bad movie. The next WWE Studios movie that I know of is Rumble, which they dropped a trailer for in January when it's not coming out until January 2021. So good job, WWE. And I think it's Universal. Good job, Universal and WWE Studios. You're going to make people forget you got a movie coming out. Yay! When you bring the second trailer out. Yay! So this movie, the main event, gets a D-. It's a bad movie. It's not getting an F because, yes, the kids were very entertaining. He had the charisma. Seth Hogg did a good job. He had charisma. But everything else, particularly the script, was just flat out horrible. Stay tuned for my review of The Willoughbys next.